Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Bink or Bust 100K Bankroll Challenge. It is day 62, and our bankroll is 9,300. Had a bit of a downswing yesterday. Um, actually, it was I'll pull up the graph here. It was super wild. Well, for those of you who watched the 15-minute stream, you saw it start off. How it played out most of the day. I think within the first 100 hands, we were down like 400 or something like that. So probably played a little bit tilted yesterday. I don't think we played horrendous or anything, but it was definitely not the best poker we've ever played, I think. We probably should have just quit before we did. But it is what it is. Trying to work on uh, collecting ourselves and not tilting off. It's just always been sort of a negative. But it is what it is. The weekends are either fantastic or not so great because you end up with a lot of players willing to put it in. So if you're not on your game or you're not playing great, you can go um, a negative downswing pretty easily, realistically. Okay, and we'll raise the sevens, and we'll continuation bet the ace-4 suited. Fold the 8-deuce. We'll probably take a bet check bet line here with the clubs. We don't really want to bet get shoved on, and there's like because we have. I mean, we have clubs, so he can call worse clubs. He block clubs. I don't know. This could be. It's probably only a two street value hand, so king kind of sucks. We will go for the bet check bet because it just gets called really wide. Or if he stabs, we'll just call and take it down because most of his range is just folding to. His range is so wide that most is going to fold to a double barrel. Um, and But when you go bet check bet, they just hero call super wide. Now this table in the bottom left, Sean's a fish, Barada's really good. So we'll see if we actually stick around at this table or not. Actually should mark him. We know he's a whale because he opened with king 7 off from under the gun, and then I misclicked 3-bet him and he called. And then he called the flop with no pair and no real draw. Okay, we're gonna ISO the jacks. Fold 7-3. We'll just let this go because of the 4x open. This guy we have tagged as sort of a nittier fish. Yeah, so we'll play a little bit more cautiously against him. So what happened here? ISO? Yeah, so he limps, we raise, he calls, flop comes 7-deuce-9. He calls. We will block that turn against him on the ace. It's pretty good flop for 5s, and then we will block that river as well. I think the only like trip aces will raise, but outside of that, he's probably just gonna check back. Or call, sorry. Wow, ace 10. Okay, well, limp called ace 10, called 7-deuce-9 with that hand. Flop checks around, then he goes full pot on turn. I think we call one here, even if we are stuck in the middle. Okay, we boat up on the river. And we'll just check back here, especially when the 6 rolls off. Some of his range that we might try to get value from is going to be 6x. And we'll check to him again and decide. He's either going to rip it or check, I would think. It's interesting. Does feel pretty fluffy. I probably am going to call here. I don't think he's the type to check back an overpair or anything. Like, I don't think he's going to check back a 9 or a 6 or a 9 on the flop. So probably has a 6 or a bluff most of the time here. So I think he'll be just value betting like 10s plus. So this could be bad, but I think we have to call here. Yeah. That's sort of the reality is, right? It was either nothing or a 6. I think it's nothing more often than not. Okay, we'll call it Queen 10. That's weird that Barada left. Maybe this guy's not as fishy as I thought. Let's just see here. Unless he left all the tables. Yeah, it looks like he's just left. It looks like, or wait. Yeah, so he just left everything. Okay. Moved up to the higher stake. King Queen off, we 3-bet, we call. Mix it up. He goes 21, 10-9, for the 10 deuce. This is why we call. We followed with King Queen. I think we just fold to a 4-bet though, or shove. Okay. So, anyways, yeah, yesterday was a pretty. Well, we'll just pull it up. It was a brutal day though. Fold the 8-4. It was actually a shitty weekend in general. Raise the ace jack. This would probably be a short stream. I just mostly wanted to get the update in. Especially because we ran bad, so I don't want people to think we're not showing, when we're dipping too. And we just like happen to take those days off or something, even though I really just don't have a lot of time right now. I'm just going to leave the heads up table. My rake back's not high enough, and even if he has a big whale. So that's today. A little bit today. Got a little bit back. This is probably the swingiest weekend I've had in a while. I would just fold to that pot bet. Played a lot of hands. Got some volume in. I mean, we got to remember, it was bound to happen. We've been saying it session after session. We've been running so crazy good. It's not really realistic to not have a downswing at some point here. Especially moving up to 1-2. There's obviously a pretty big, clear jump in skill from 1-2 and on 100. Not so much with the guys playing NL 100 and NL 200, but the guys who are like playing NL 200, NL 500, NL 1K, and the tables just aren't running, so they're dropping to NL 200. The Jack 6 would fold here. So yeah, as you, yeah. So we were down 100, 500, down 150, and then we were up 700, and then we ended up down 400. So it's like $1,000 downswing there, plus all the rake that we paid, and then rake back, and we got some leaderboard and stuff like that to balance that out a little bit. But yeah, pretty wild swing there. Fold 6-5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Think four-handed. We're just not going to get enough folds. And so this guy's 3-bet is 1%. I think I just fold. If I was suited, you couldn't fold, but I think ace-jack, we just let it go for the guy who over 200 hands is 3% 3-bet. We're out of position, even if it's small. I think it is what it is. Yeah, and here with the open-ender, just because everybody checked around, you could stab some portion of the time on the turn, but I think four-handed, we're just getting called too often. Yeah, so if we stabbed, we would have at least got called by better than you. We could have gone for a check raise on the flop, but fold 10-7. We're gonna have to, I guess we could sit this on a 100 table while we wait. Fold 10-5, fold 10-4. I've been talking to a couple other guys about NL 200, and the rake is only 8 BBs per 100, so it's not terrible. But there's really not a lot of fun. Today's a really good day. Mondays are always great because everybody's collecting their rake back and playing with it. So you usually get a few more wrecks than normal, and it's a holiday, right? So I think you'll end up with a lot of guys just playing today. But with rake being even at 8 BBs, like that's a high rake at NL 200. and the way GG works, like you really need to be able to collect some leaderboards points to offset that rake. Um, check the ace-6 off. And we'll raise the queen-9 suited. I think we squeeze here with the king-jack. Fold the ace-6. But yeah, just some discussion with what we think is the best way to move up. Honestly, at GG, it might be just jumping from 1-2 to 2-5, like playing, depending on your win rates and stuff, but like our win rates are so high at NL50 and NL100 that you could probably just run a bankroll up to a point where you're comfortable playing 2-5 with it, because you're playing the same regs. Same regs that are playing 1-2 are playing 2-5. So it's not like there's any kind of skill gap. Like once you can beat 1-2 on this specific in this specific pool, because it's just not like a ton of the higher stakes players. So once you can beat 1-2, you can beat 2-5 as well, because the same guys are playing. You might randomly get a guy who sits that's playing like NL2K and 1K, and he's just like downplay NL500, but if nothing else is running or whatever. But generally speaking, once you can beat against Roba Bubba, probably raise here, just bet here, and we'll defend the queen 5 suited. Okay, once he calls, we're just not going to slow down, just keep going big. Okay, we're going to go big here, even if it is into 2. Sean with the squeezy. Well, I think kind of sucks to just call here, but the fact that we're going to be in position post flop and we're getting such good odds here with a hand that can kind of flop a bit of a monster, I think it's a clear-cut call. And Robos, I was just going to say, he's just going to shove once Sean checks. Set of 7s, aces of the club. Could maybe just be a fold with the queen 10 suited there. I don't know. I think the fact that we're in position with a suited hand that can flop like some pretty good monsters versus some other decent hands, it's definitely worth a bet. Incredible. He didn't cold call. He raised. I 3-bet, you 4-bet, and then he called. So, wild though. I'm glad he just ripped it and let us get out of the way. I think I'm just going to fold it to him. Check raise there with our hand. He didn't raise that. I don't even know what happened. Pay more attention. Fold 7-8 suited. Looks like somebody took most of his money. Some freezer. Fold 4-3. Fold the ace-2 suited. We did lose a fish there, unfortunately. But anyways, yeah, so there's been some talk about what kind of makes the most, oh, I guess I better read this, sorry guys. What makes the most sense? And we'll 4-bet the Jack-7 suited. When playing and moving up. Because it really is tough. Like NL200 with the rake and the fact that you're not going to get any leaderboard points unless you have like 60 or set. Like if you have 70% rake back or something, that's, you know, kind of a different story. But if you're sitting like most with like 30, 40, 50 and you're trying to move up with just 50% rake back, it's going to be difficult, I guess, to say the least. Well, we're going to definitely call here with the 8s. Fetty's going into the tank a little bit, so I was going to say, if he raises here, probably just let it go. And Slacker 3-bets us, will call. Okay, flop is set. We're just getting out of the hand here, especially when this guy cold calls. That could be a 6, could be 4-6, 5-6, pocket 4s, or like a flush draw. Okay, and we will call the set. He checks. I think we value bet here. And we definitely bet here with the flush draw. Okay, he checks again. I don't think he's going to go into like check call mode with a flush. I think it's more likely he has like ace king with a spade, jack queen, you know, with the queen of spades, ace jack with a spade. Some portion of the time maybe he slow plays here, but like when he 3-bets pre-flop, He's just got like a nutted hand, right? So he probably doesn't 3-bet ace-5 suited. And he doesn't really have much, like ace-10 suited maybe, but again, this guy's so knitted when he 3-bets. It's significantly more likely he's just got like ace-king or something. Okay, fold the 9-7. Yeah, this is an ugly weekend. In the end, it's not that bad. Like we dropped 400. Most of the loss, over the weekend. If you look back to where we started, to where we are now, it's a $1,000 loss with rake and stuff like that. But we're only down a couple hundred from Friday, so it could be worse, I guess. Wasn't a complete like downfall. We're just from peak. We're down 1,000 from peak. We did run up 700 at one point. Okay, fold queen deuce off. King 8 suited versus button raise, 3-bets. It's a boss study. Who cares what happened on that hand? I'd like to see that. 6, yeah, I was gonna say he's gotta have a boat there, at least 6 when he calls. Where's the river? Hey, diamonds hit on the river there, right? Nasty river. Okay, raise the 8-5 suited, raise the queen deuce suited. But anyways, yeah, it was just one of those sessions, I think, where kind of nothing really. I mean, we had a good run up here and a good run up here, but this run back was pretty coolery. Some variance catching up, I think. Definitely some tilt off in there. Couple hands, for sure. But there's a couple called the river too many times in a couple spots that I shouldn't have. I should have just folded. Kind of got into that can't possibly lose again headspace. I called a little bit too much in those spots. And fold ace-9, e10-6, fold the king 3, e6 off. Check here. Fong Jin. I think we just call here after it's like check, 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 check. It's fine. People value like will stab river way wider than that. And we will fold here to the 3-bet and then the cold 4-bet. Okay, queen deuce suited, raise the ace king off, raise the ace-5 suited, fold 6-5. He does call this board. We're just gonna check. 8-5 suited. We're just gonna let that go. But anyways, yeah, it was just one of those days. I think where variance was kind of catching up. If we, we 3-bet with like jacks or queens, the flop was either like ace-x or like 4-5-6 with 2 spades kind of thing. And then if we were, same thing with like aces, everybody just folded. Kings, there's an ace or like, super low cards. And it just kind of didn't matter what we did. It just kind of wasn't our day. You 3-bet, you get 4-bet when you don't have it. 3-bet when you do have it, they fold. It's kind of a combination of all of that. So they do happen. Everybody has bad days. It's pretty standard. But what we will do, just for fun, is go back to the start here and just take a zoomed out perspective on why it's really hard and extremely important not to just focus kind of on single day events because they happen all the time. We go on downswings all the time. And this, remember, we're playing NL 200, so it's not really like we were on 4 buy-in downswing or something like that at NL 200, 5 buy-in downswing, which is, next to nothing. It's pretty standard to lose. I shouldn't say standard, but you lose 4 to 5 buy-ins a day on a bad session all the time. Downswings when it's like session after session where you're losing 2-3 buy-ins, 2-3 buy-ins, 2-3 buy-ins. That's when it starts to hurt. But the one-offs, not the end of the world. And if you break this down again, if you want to go session by session, it's like we had a bad session and then we had an amazing session where we won like 1,000, and then we had another bad session where we lost 5 buy-ins, right? So this guy's a little extra nitty. lately, especially against my four bets. So I think I'm just gonna call here. If I four bet there, I mean he's just gonna shove like queens. That's a terrible turn card, like queens plus kind of thing. Huh. I guess we go for value on the river. They'll probably call just to see what we have. We obviously fold to a raise. Yeah, perfect. That's what we wanted. Obviously, he can just probably on stream, but um, fold queen jack off. So we open under the gun. Footballer. E3 bets us. Also interesting. It's tough when it's a fish doing it because I don't really want to four bet fold, but I also don't really want to four bet call. So okay, he just folds. Yeah, like honestly, if he ripped there, it's probably terrible, but I might even fold it. Which if I did do that, then should never be three betting there. I think not necessarily true because he'll call a whole bunch worse. All right, what do we do here? Raise. I was small blind. He's big blind. On this board, we'll just bet full pot. We'll have to let that go. This guy only bets full pot by the looks of it, though. Okay. We bet he calls or he raises us. We're definitely calling here. Check to side turn. He checks back. Interesting. Probably raised like 10x or jack x for value. It's kind of silly of him, or 8-9 jack, yeah. Okay. Fold here, fold here. I guess we just bet here because we expect him to three bet. Um, we have to double barrel this, of course. We expect him to three bet. Okay, ace king it is. See you later. Ace king, aces, kings, but perhaps not even that wide. I mean, 4% should be like 10. Was that 10s plus ace king, something like that? Okay, aces. Okay, we're going to three bet the jacks. We're gonna cold four bet the aces, small as we can. And we are going to fold 6-7 suited. Fold the jack 3. Call the aces. Good lord. Kevin, thanks for going in. Thanks, appreciate the luck. We do need it here after yesterday's session. Do win with aces here. We're going to be shutting this off though here. Everybody's kind of up and running around, so just wanted to get the update in. Okay. Real world calls here, so I do have to shut this down. Appreciate you guys watching the stream. Hit that thumbs up. We'll see you next.